Hello and welcome to your favorite television show right here on Net2. I'm talking about the Conti Thompson show. Yeah, and you know how we do right on the show. We strive, we impact, and we succeed. We become the best of ourselves. Today, I have a very interesting, when I mean very interesting, I really mean it, right on the show. She's so interesting. She has something great to offer, and I think she and her partner are making a great impact. Before we get to see her, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. My name is Conti Thompson, and thank you, Shine's Glamour, for my makeup. Thank you, Eva's Clothing. Thank you, E-Power Dynamic System. When you want anything when it comes to phone accessories, contact E-Power Dynamic Systems. We will be right back just after this break. Welcome back. You're watching the Conti Thompson show right here on Net2. And you know how we do it? We strive, we impact, we succeed. Yes, so I was talking about this amazing young lady who's doing wonders in Ghana when it comes to social change and when it comes to social business. I'm talking about Elena Bonet de Pasquale right here on the show. She's been all over Africa and she's interested in change and development in Africa. You're welcome to the show, Elena.
Thank you so much.
I got the name right.
You got the name right.
So it's Elena
Bonet
de Pasquale. You're welcome.
Yeah, I think you're the first Ghanaian ever that gets the name right.
Oh,
so,
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. I deserve something.
So
I deserve something.
Yeah,
All right. So the first time I encountered her on Instagram, it was so amazing. Like when I saw the Gaia Cup, I'm like, what is this about? And then I realized there was a menstrual cup. Honestly, tell you the truth, I had never heard about menstrual cups before. This was new to me, and the fact that they were going to impoverished areas and all that, supplying them to people, I thought this was amazing, and that is why you are here. So congratulations, and thank you for having this time for us.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
And allowing us in your home. So tell me a little about the Gaia Cup. What's the Gaia Cup all about?
So the Gaia Cup is a menstrual cup, but maybe before I go into the product itself, I'm going to explain how I ended up in Ghana.
Yeah.
The idea was born.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I was working as a social impact consultant, which means that I was analyzing the social impact of businesses.
All right.
And I happened to work with Aisha Husseini, which is now my co-founder. She's a farmer in Shea butter living in Tamale in the north. And I spent 3 months with her analyzing the social impact that the ladies that were working with her had in their life, because she employs 700 women in a rural community in the north, and she's all about women empowerment. So not only giving them, fair wages and opportunities to work, but also allowing them to be more empowered in their community.
Exactly.
And one day I was reading the newspaper and I read an article that was talking about menstrual poverty in Kibera, which is a slum in Nairobi. It's the biggest slum there. And basically it was saying that 80% of girls of 16 years old had prostituted themselves in exchange for sanitary pads, at least once.
Oh my God, that's like...
Yeah. This was my face. It was the same face. It was the first time for me.
Just for a sanitary pad?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me take a deep breath. Continue, please. Yeah.
So it was the first time for me hearing the word menstrual poverty.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm someone that has studied development. I worked at the European Union, the African Union, so I've been working in development programs. And I've never heard of that term, so it was something quite invisible, for the international community. At the time I was working with Aisha, as I said, she comes from a rural community near Tamale, and I asked her, okay, is this true? What is happening with the situation in Tamale? And she said, yeah, it's true, the same is happening.
So the same thing you heard about in another country was happening right here in Ghana?
Yes.
In the north?
In the north, in Accra, everywhere.
Are you serious?
Yes.
This is news for me, seriously.
So basically what she was doing is that every month she would save some money to buy bags for girls, because otherwise girls would skip school when they're under menstruation, because you know that here you need to wear a uniform to go to school.
Yeah.
If you're poor, maybe you only have one uniform.
Yeah.
If you don't have appropriate sanitary pads, you're scared that maybe you will stain your uniform. You cannot use it again. Without uniform, you can't go to school. Also, the schools don't have bathrooms, don't have washrooms, so no place to also change.
Yeah.
Exactly. Plus, it's really a like taboo and stigma topic.
Yeah.
So basically, the girls, they were just staying at home when they were having their periods, and sometimes they were actually like prostituted themselves in exchange for sanitary pads.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we went to talk to a lot of schools, teachers, students, and they confirmed that that was real. And so we thought, okay, we need to do something about it. And this is when I told her, maybe you can try menstrual cups because it's a reusable product. You buy one, it lasts 10 years. It only needs boiling water to be sterilized. So maybe it could be a solution for those environments. Yeah, and this is how I offered her a cup. She tried it, she loved it, and she was like, okay, then I will need to do something with menstrual cups in Ghana. It's going to be a big success and help a lot of women and also the environment.
Wow, great.
Yeah, I think it's, so just before continuing, it's important to insist that menstrual health has been a taboo for so long. The first study, like United Nations study, was in 2016, meaning that before 2016 there is no data. And they estimate that now around 800 million girls worldwide suffer from menstrual poverty.
So we're going to go into the whole menstrual poverty thing, and I'm so lost of words. But I mean, so you are from Spain.
Yeah.
So you knew about menstrual cups before, prior to this.
Yes.
You knew about it, so that's why you suggested it to Aisha.
Yes.
Okay.
I knew about it, but I wasn't using it
All
because
right.
it's difficult for us when we use one thing for all our lives to suddenly change.
Yeah.
So me personally, I was using tampons.
Okay.
And all my friends were using the cup, and they were telling me, Elena, you have to use the cup. It's way better. But you know, because it's difficult to change your habits, I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. But then when I heard about this, and I gave one to Aisha, I thought, now I'm going to try it myself as well. Yeah.
So that was the whole initiation of the Gaia Cup. Exactly. Wow. And how's it been so far for you guys?
So we started around 3 years ago, and at the beginning we were just doing some crowdfunding. So for birthday or Christmas, I would just try to gather some money from family and friends, and then buy some cups, and then run programs in schools in the north. So we started doing this. The impact was very, very good. So most girls used it. I thought there would be way more resistance to the product. We can talk about it later.
Yeah.
But actually people were very open about it and to use it. And then we decided, okay, why don't we become a social business, and then we can be fully financially sustainable, because we don't want to be dependent on other people. So the idea was create a new business in Ghana, for Ghana, a new industry where we can employ women. And the business model basically is that we sell menstrual cups, and then with the money we run some social projects. So we cover our production costs, but then but then we are not going to distribute profits. We will reinvest it in social projects. So doing workshops of menstrual health and menstrual cups, providing menstrual cups in vulnerable areas, and so on. And we also have different prices, so it's not the same one cup in Accra, which is 65 cedis, then in the north, which we sell them at 30 cedis, and we allow women to pay in 3 installments. So the idea is that for this to be a self-sustaining project, and this is where we are now. We are slowly growing our commercial activities and also our social.
So that's why it's called social business. That's why because it's not really a profit-making thing, but just to sustain with production.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So exactly. That's it.
That's great. Now let's come to menstrual poverty
Yeah.
and stigmatization. What do you think about that? Because when I had menstrual poverty in the first place, I'm like, what's that? I'm like, what's that about? So can you throw more light on that?
Yeah, so the definition of menstrual poverty is basically having the inability to manage safely your menstruation. So this can be because you don't have money to buy hygienic products like sanitary pads, you need to use cloth, cotton, rag, whatever. Maybe because you don't have access to those products, so maybe you are in a rural area and there is nowhere where you can find these products. It can be that you don't have facilities to change yourself. So there are so many things involved around menstrual poverty. And currently, as I said before, because the research started very, very recently, there's not a lot of data involved, but they say that, at least in countries like Ghana, so middle income countries, maybe half of the population of women experience this.
Ooh,
so it's a lot.
And then, oh my God, this is news for me. Okay, so let's go to the point where you met Aisha, and then you guys started to do this. How many lives do you think you have impacted, and what were you using before you got there, and how did you take the whole menstrual cup thing and so on?
So, just before, I want to mention that it's very, the figure of Aisha is very important because, as I said before, she employs 700 women.
700?
She's from a rural place in Tamale. She's Muslim and comes from a traditional community, but she divorced. She works, she has her money, she's like a role model of women empowerment in that context.
Okay.
So we knew, okay, we want to introduce a new product that is very disruptive. It needs to be done by someone who's influential, someone that if she talks, they're going to speak, not me.
I get it. They'll go like, who's this? What's she talking about? Why is she here? She's out to get us or something, weird. I get it,
Exactly. So I actually told her, okay, you need to convince me to do this because it's not my culture, it's not my country. I don't want to go there and try to impose something if people don't want it, But she was the one saying like, listen, this is something that can work and you need to come here. So far, okay. The thing is that when we started, there was COVID, so for almost a year the schools were closed, so we had to stop a lot of our activities. But so far, in terms of women using the cups in our social programs, we are at 600.
Wow.
In terms of, as I would say, education, I don't know exactly, but I would say maybe twice. Because it's not the same one woman coming to our workshops and then one woman coming to our workshops and using the cup. Just the fact of coming to the workshop, even if you're not going to use the cup, you're already learning so many things about your menstrual cycle, menstrual hygiene, sexual health, and things that they don't teach us at school or in the communities or that are taboo, and it's something like very important.
So what are some of the mentalities they had about menstruation when you got there? Were they using like cloth? We'll come to that, but what was the mentality they were having about menstruation?
What they use mostly is rag, rag, cloth.
Wash it.
They wash it and hang it.
Oh my God,
But it's not something that absorbs, So it's something that as soon as there's a little bit of liquid, it's gonna, and then also it's gonna create a lot of bacteria because when the blood is in contact with the oxygen and if it's not absorbed, it's gonna, with the heat, it creates bacteria, so you can get a lot of infections. But also cotton. Also, I don't know the word, but there's this thing that you find in the trees, resin.
Is in the tree. Okay.
Things from the trees, sometimes also socks. So this is what
socks
they would use.
God, this is serious though. You can be in Ghana and you're so far away from all these things, you don't even know what is happening. But thank God for people like you who are here and then discovering all this, it's amazing. So what's the mentality they had about menstruation?
So menstruation is completely taboo. What I realized the first time we did the workshop was that actually all the teenagers and women that were there were so happy to have a safe space to discuss about these things, and they were like waiting for it. They had so many questions because we thought, okay, maybe they will be very shy, they won't talk to us a lot, they won't ask questions, but it was the opposite. They were all like this with big eyes, listening to us and asking so many questions. At first we asked, like, what is the first word that comes to mind when we say menstruation? And most of it was like dirt, shame, you know. The only thing they tell them when they have their first period is like, okay, now you don't touch boys because you can get pregnant. And this is the only thing they know.
Yeah, I think in Africa that is used a lot. When you begin to have a period, then your auntie or whoever is your guardian tells you that, you know what, now you can't touch boys. I think it's normal. It's quite normal. Yeah.
Exactly. But it was quite sad to think in terms of menstruation in that way, you know. And this is also why it's called the Gaia Cup. We wanted to change the narrative of and around menstruation.
So what's the meaning of Gaia?
Yeah, so Gaia is the Greek goddess of the earth.
Oh.
It's actually a figure that you find in many cultures. So I think in West Africa there is like Oshun. Then in Latin America there's a Pachamama. So in different cultures you find this figure of the goddess of the earth, and it's always a woman. It's like the soul of the earth has this feminine energy. And if you analyze the ecosystem of our planet and the menstrual cycle, you find so many similarities. So there are 4 seasons, right? Winter, spring, autumn, summer. The menstrual cycle has 4 phases: follicular, luteal, premenstrual, and menstrual. Women give birth. The planet gives birth. The menstrual cycle regulates all your hormones and everything in a very wise way in your body to maintain life. And same does the earth, you know, with the rain and the interaction between different forces of nature.
This is a lot. Okay.
So we wanted to say, listen, we women bleeding and having our period is just a proof that we as Gaia, as Mother Earth, carry this life force, and it's very wise and it's very powerful. So we should embrace it and be proud of it, and not you know, hide it or be with shame. So there's a big component of shifting the mindset.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you just shifted mind. The whole idea of life in a woman, and this is a sign of life.
Exactly.
Men don't have that. Women have that. And we carry babies. We carry life.
And it's crazy to think how our bodies are so in tune with nature and the universe, because even the menstrual cycle is 28 days. It's in tune with the moon cycle, the full moon and the new moon. So if you actually start observing and paying attention, you will find so many similarities. And it just means that we are also way more in tune to the environment, and we have a lot of intuition about things. You know, we have this innate wisdom. Sometimes they say women have the sixth sense. So it's true.
So we have the Gaia Cup right here, and can I touch it?
Yeah, of course. These are all for displays.
These are all for different displays right here on the show. And this is a social business by Elena and Aisha. We are going to see how this Gaia Cup works, because I mean, first time I heard about it and now seeing it, I'm like, how does it work? So we're going to find out just after this break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're watching the DeConti Thompson Show. On this episode today is dedicated to the Gaia Cup. I'm talking about the menstrual cup initiated by Aisha and Elena. And it's a social business. It's a great business. It's making a great social impact, and I just love it right here. So we're still talking about how to use the Gaia Cup, but before that, I want to thank you, E-Power Dynamic Systems. Thank you for sponsoring us. And if you want anything in terms of phone accessories, headphones, iPods, chargers for wholesale, especially and retail, contact ePower Dynamic Systems. Also, Fruity Fresh, thank you so much for showing us love. Okay, Helena, back to you. You're just going to show us how to use this cup. Now, honestly, let me be honest with you. When I think about a cup, I really don't like more. I don't know how, but I don't know if you're like me, but I just don't know how I'm going to insert this just like that. I think that has been a major problem. So if you could show us how to use the cup and maybe some of the benefits of using a cup.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this is a menstrual cup. There are actually many different models, but let's say this is a standard model. It actually was invented 100 years ago.
It was?
Yes.
Where?
By a Norwegian in Norway. However, until the 2000s, it hasn't really been commercialized. So now, since 25 years ago, more and more people are using it, and especially the newer generations. If you go to Europe, the US, or Australia, and a lot of countries, they are not using sanitary pads anymore. They are moving out of tampons, and they are trying to use reusable products like this or the period panties. So how does it work? It's made of 100% medical silicone, which means that it's completely harmless for your body. It's the material that any doctor would use if they do an operation or anything, so it's completely safe.
So first of all, it's completely safe. It's made of 100%
medical silicone.
Medical silicone.
So it's hypoallergenic, and it maintains the pH of...
it maintains the pH, down there.
Down there. So it's way more safe than a tampon or than a pad. Yeah, and I will now explain why.
Nice.
You will see that it has some holes up.
It does,
Okay. Basically, how it works, so the first time you get it, before getting your menstruation, you're going to boil water, and you put it and leave it for 5 minutes in boiling water. What this does is that it's going to kill all the bacteria, and it's going to be completely sterilized. Then you wash your hands, and basically to use it, you're going to fold it. There are different ways to fold it. The most common one, I would say, is the C-fold, which is this one.
Let me try that.
Yeah.
Like that?
Exactly.
Oh. All right. Trying to get
Very good. This is the C-fold.
C-fold.
Then you have the punch down, which is you just punch down.
Just punch down. Oops.
Like that.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right.
So these are, let's say, the most used ways. So how it works is that, let's say you're going to go for the punch down. You punch it. You're going to squat a little bit. And then you're just going to push it inside the vagina. The vagina is completely flexible. It's not like it's something stiff and blocked. And when you have your menstruation, it's also wet. So it's very easy, actually. As you push, it will open by itself. It will pop up. And basically what happens is that once the air holes are in contact with the skin, so let's say we have the vaginal canal, it would be like this.
So once it sit like this.
Yeah, it will be fully inside and open. The air holes, when they are in contact with the skin, they create a vacuum system. What does that mean? That it's completely blocked. Because there's no oxygen. So it's like even if you push, you move, whatever, it's not gonna move. It's sealed. You have it inside. It can stay up to 12 hours, even 24 hours.
And it's still safe?
Yes. It has 35 milliliter capacity, and one pad has 5 milliliter capacity. So once you are done with it, maybe after 12 hours, you remove it. So how do you remove it?
How do you remove it? That's the question.
So you don't push because it's not going to get out because it's sealed. You need to break the seal. So how you break it is that you punch.
You punch.
Yeah. So exactly. Let's say it's like this. So by punching.
So you just make it easier for it to
there
come
will
out.
be some oxygen going, and then you just Yeah.
Is it painful inserting?
It's not painful at all. So when you insert it, you actually don't feel absolutely anything.
Okay.
Anything.
Okay.
You can dance, you can move, you can swim, you can
don't feel
pee,
anything like
you
there's
can
anything.
do anything.
You know, sometimes when you're wearing a pad and you know that at least the blood is flowing onto something, but this one is like it's coming to the cup. How do you feel like? Does the feeling change?
It does. So it's so comfortable that you don't, and it's the feedback that we have most of the time. You forget that you're wearing something.
Oh.
Yeah. So you forget. You don't feel absolutely anything.
Okay.
You don't feel
and
weight. You don't feel anything.
How deep do you know you have to insert? Like how far does it go? How
so
do you
it
know?
will go by itself, but basically it will be nice to actually have a little drawing, but the vaginal canal, so we have the vaginal canal that is between 6 to 9 centimeters, and then we have the cervix, and then there's the uterus. Okay, and then you have the ovaries. So when you fold and insert, it will position itself wherever it needs to be positioned. It's not that like you have to push it down or anything. When it is fully inside, it will open.
So this still is not out when it's inserted?
So for some women, women who have low cervix, meaning that their cervix is quite down and maybe they have just like 6 centimeters of vaginal canal, maybe this, let's say,
the smaller one.
this one will be out, so then they can just cut with scissors. Or they can leave it like that. And for some women, this is why we also have this one.
So that
have a higher one.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we have different sizes. We have 3 sizes actually.
I see a smaller one. Yeah. There's a really small one.
So this is the extra small one. It's for girls up to, let's say, 16, 18 years old.
Okay.
Then we have the medium one, which is for, I would say, women with regular flow who haven't had a vaginal delivery. So babies haven't had babies.
Okay. This one won't work. Okay, that works for me.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's a large one, which is for moms.
Okay, that's the large one.
Yes, or women who have heavy flow. So some women, maybe the first day of their menstruation, they use this one because maybe they can keep it for 12 hours. And then the second 2 days, we use the other one.
Wow. So now the question of the day is that can virgins use this? Like, does it break anything? Like,
So
does it give you anything? Like when you insert, like does it?
I'm very happy that you asked this question because we get that question a lot, and I think it's very important to talk about it. First of all, we need to think what being a virgin is, because in our patriarchal society, the idea, which is actually a myth that they tell us, is that every little girl has in their vagina a hymen that seals the vagina, and then when a penis goes in there, it breaks, and the girl is not virgin anymore. This is not true. I will not explain why. And it's also something very easy that makes easy for society to control women's bodies and sexuality. First of all, the hymen is a membrane that is around the entrance of the vaginal canal that everyone has, and that over time it stretches. It's more like how do you call to do a ponytail? How do you call the
like the band?
It's like a band. You know, it's like it will
it's holding
stretch.
it. All right, it stretches. All right.
If you think about it, if there was something sealing the vagina, where would the blood come out when a girl has their period? So that is always open for every woman, every girl. It's never sealed. And then the hymen, as I said, is a membrane that is going to stretch over time. So you can perfectly fold and push it inside. And what will happen is that basically it will just adapt and it's flexible, and then maybe close a bit again. But it's not gonna break or rip anything. And a lot of young girls are actually using it. So what we advise is, first of all, just think for yourself, what is your concept of virginity? Okay, maybe if your concept of virginity is putting something inside, and you say you don't want to do it, don't do it. But that's not, an idea that is actually true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Wow, this is
a lot of
so.
information.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of information, and I can't take it all in. But what are some of the fears people have had? Like, what are the major fears people have?
So the
about
major
using the
fears,
menstrual cups?
which actually it's funny because all the fears come from a place of not knowing our bodies.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a good opportunity for us to teach about the female body, but also for women to know more their bodies. So. Well, the first fear, of course, is how to get it in. If it's painful, it's not painful at all. It's something super soft. It's medical silicone. It adapts. It's, as you will see, like very, very soft. It's not painful. The second one is, will it get lost?
Yeah.
No, because we have
How will
our
it get lost?
because we have our cervix. It's impossible that it gets lost.
Okay.
It's not like an open. It's like we have the vaginal canal,
Yeah.
which measures between 7 to 9 centimeters, and then we have the cervix, which closes it.
Yeah.
So it's impossible that it gets lost.
Wow.
Maybe if you were inserting it on our other hole in the back,
Maybe
yes,
it will.
in your anus,
Yeah.
it can get
Yeah.
lost. It can go out through your
Yeah.
rectum and in
Yeah.
your intestines and everywhere, but
Yeah.
not through the
Yeah,
vagina.
yeah.
Third fear is, how can I pee?
Yeah.
So, another news, ladies, we have 3 holes, not 2. And the
Three?
exactly, and the
Yeah.
pee goes out from the urethra.
It doesn't go through. Yeah, people don't know that. Nobody.
People don't know that.
People don't know that it doesn't come through that
Through
one.
the vagina.
It goes through another hole. Yeah.
So the pee doesn't come out through the vagina.
It doesn't come through the vagina.
It
Pee
comes-
doesn't come through the vagina, ladies. Yeah.
No, it comes out from the urethra.
Yeah.
So again, it's like very important as women
To know your body.
to know our bodies, because these questions show us that we live in a society where they don't teach us anything about our bodies. There is no particular emphasis on getting to know women's bodies,
Yeah.
and it's just so important.
Yeah.
And then, another fear is about also the safety of the product, but as I said, it's made of 100% medical silicone.
Is it approved here in Ghana?
So, not yet.
Okay.
It's approved we have the FDA in the US, in Europe, and we are getting the local one.
Okay, alright.
So it will be very soon.
Yeah, that's alright, so let's talk about inserting it. Let's talk about removing it. How do you get rid of the blood?
Okay. So once it's inside, what you need to do is break the seal. So don't try to
Pull it.
pull and pull because it's not gonna move.
Press it again.
Yeah, just press the lower part,
Yeah.
and then you slowly swing it,
Okay.
and then you dispose the blood in the bathroom or in the shower if you're showering.
Now how about that? See the blood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're just talking about it. So I think it's very important for us to develop a new relationship to our bodies and the blood, as we were saying before, changing the narrative. And so seeing the blood is part of that. Most women, because they have been using sanitary pads, you never actually see your blood because the sanitary pad absorbs the blood.
Yeah.
So you never know in liquid how much it is. You think like it's a lot, but it's not that much because
Like what is this, like example? What do you think it stops? Like what depends? If they're heavy flow or light flow?
so for 12 hours.
Yeah, for 12 hours.
So for 12 hours it will go here
Oh, okay.
on the first days.
Okay, for the first day. But subsequently maybe down a little.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's around here.
Yeah.
So they say that women on average have between 4 and 6 soup spoons of blood. It's not that much.
Okay.
But we tend to think that we have a lot more because it's pads
the
are
pad
white
spreads.
and spreads and it becomes heavy because it's wet.